Okay. All right. I am so sorry. We are late. I'm hoping you can hear me. I just got out of the shower, just left the station and had to get something to eat, and then hopped in the shower, and now I'm here, and I'm still not fully set up. Hold on just a second. I love you guys for putting up with this. It's the last fair deal gone down. Little Robert Johnson for you. As you may have heard on Musical Musers, I'm on a little bit of a Robert Johnson kick. So, let's see here. Okay. Oh, dang it. Are we in the middle of a commercial right now, or is this just me? I just tuned over there right now. I need to get control of my commercial situation. Let me pull up the chat. See what you guys are talking about. Love that Rob John seggy. Thanks, Code Silly. So very hip. Roadside Couch Lover. I love it. That subscribed with Prime. That's great. It is a great band name, isn't it? Roadside Couch. Whoops. There's my timer. I set a timer to remind me when I'm 15 minutes late. And I just hit that. Tier 1 subs. I love that. Guy on the Couch 790. Subscribed with Prime. Thank you very much. Get one free Prime subscription to Twitch, and I'd love it if you use it here because this goes to a great cause. My buddy Randy at Last, he's got a great venture going over there, and he and I were brainstorming something I could do to continually benefit At Last, rather than just making like a yearly contribution. So one of the things I said is, you know what? Thinking about starting a Twitch stream anyway. How about we make the Twitch stream benefit At Last and your organization? And he thought that was a pretty good idea. That's probably before he saw the content here. And then realized that I have nothing. But you guys subscribing really help out. Gary Patterson 1 says, new Gordon Keith show 10 to noon. No, I don't think that. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I'll be considered for that job, even though I've applied many a time. But yeah, so we got big news today. Before we hop into all of that and get to some of your comments about that, I ran into a situation today. And maybe I'll talk about this on the air tomorrow. I don't know. So there was this 100% is flashing up on my screen, that hype train deal. I have no idea what that is. Once again, I feel like such a grandfather every time I start talking about that. Level 4 complete. I've completed level 4. Or you guys have, or somebody's completed level 4. I don't know. Yeah, Matma says, I hate situations. Yes, I ran into this today. So I was leaving the hospital today. And in the parking lot out there, I'm walking out to my car, and I see this Acura MDX CUV just kind of rolling across. Looked like he had pulled out of a parking space and was rolling straight towards the other aisle of cars, and he just slow-mo hits the back of this car. And he looks around, and there's me and this other woman she's about 30 feet the other direction, standing there watching him. And he looks like, oh, yes. It looked like he was just going to drive away, and then he sees us, and then he pauses for a second, gets out. And meanwhile, he had bashed in the backside of this Honda. You know, they have those rubber bumpers. I think they may be baby bumpers too. But he hits this thing and it crunches it in. Fortunately, about 45 seconds later, the thing kind of popped out, but he still scuffed it up and put a few holes in the bumper. And he like goes over and looks at it and goes, it's not that bad. And I said, dude, you need to leave a note. He goes, I don't know about that. I said, no, you need to leave a note. You know, it's somebody's car. They worked hard for it. They bought it. You know, they're going to want to know. They're going to have some damage on the back of their car. You need to handle that. Do the upstanding thing. Do the right thing. And he goes, well, you just take a picture of my license plate and you contact them. I said, no, you are the one it's incumbent upon to handle this and provide your information and write down your name and number and all that. He goes, oh, I'm not going to do that. It's nothing. And he just drives off. I start videoing him. I felt like such those, you know, I don't know. You know, the weasel with the cell phone documenting something. I'm like, dude, you need to leave a note as he gets in his vehicle and closes the door, rolls up the window, and starts heading out. But I got him retreating. And I went over and I dutifully wrote a note to the person and said, hey, I'm a radio superstar. My name's George Dunham. And I gave George's private email address for him or her to contact. But yeah, so I got involved. I didn't just walk on by and say it was none of my business. I got involved. So I'm really worn out from writing that note. I mean, you know, good deeds, man, they just take it all out of you. So that's my weird story of a confrontation. I was worried about the dude because as he starts to drive off, I'm thinking, you know, I'm worried he's going to come back around here and see me writing a note and realize that I'll take care of this with just a few shots, you know. Just take me out right there and then leave. But yeah, World Star. I'm going to submit it to World Star Hip Hop. I think they would like this confrontation video. And this woman that comes over, she was the other witness. Marlboro 100 going the whole time. Felt bad for her. She had someone who was in the emergency room, son in a diabetic coma. I don't know what it was. She explained it, but it was, I don't know if she was wearing her dentures. But really sweet woman. And she's like, you know, yeah, that's so wrong to do that to people. But I guess people, you know, you try to get away with whatever you can. Yeah, Wonder Whoosh noticing my shirt. I don't like to wear logoed things on this stream, you know, because it's like they don't want to be associated with me. And but yeah, but I had zero time to find, oh, okay, here's my shirt that I usually wear. It's sitting right beside me. Couldn't find it earlier. I knew I left one over here at the bunker, but then I didn't know where I put it. It was right by the broadcast position. Humble brag. Which part? That I'm a superhero that helps people who dent other people's bumpers? Yeah, did you not like fixing your hair first either? I know it. I know. It's bad. Believe me, I'm aware of what I look like. There's a reason I don't do television anymore. There's a reason why I probably should have never done television. I'm designed for radio. Bingo dentures. I don't mention dentures that much. Do I? I don't know. Holy mackerel. I just looked down. I was figuring that we weren't going to hit our target. You guys can put in the chat what is always my target viewership for one of these streams. Do you know the number that I'm always angling for? I'll see if you get it right. Not 700. No. 400. No, Whitson, not 69, not 666, not 1,000. All these guesses, 420 being guessed. 666,999. That is not it either. 400. Yes, Brad C. 400 is what we're always shooting for. I pulled that out of thin air as to be my goal, and I figure it's at least an attainable goal for us to get to. And we did it. I'm looking down. We've got 705 right now. Yeah, everyone's here for the Norm Hitchcock retrospective. You're exactly right. Obviously, the big news of the day was me meekly confronting a guy driving in an Acura MDX who was about twice my age. Very courageously, I stood up to him. That's clearly the top story. Secondary to that, it's had a lot of ramifications. After that happened to me, Norm decided that he couldn't continue in radio anymore. So, Norm, just for those who don't know, Norm announces today on the air at 10:30. It was the big announcement that was teased on Soch, that he was going to retire after 48 years in the business. Norm is going to stop doing daily radio. And his last day is a week from tomorrow on the ticket. And it was a surprise to those. It was a surprise to all of us. Not a complete surprise, because we knew within the next few years, probably Norm is going to retire, because I believe Norm is about to turn 79 years of age. And so obviously he's more likely to retire than Mino, let's say. But did not know that this was the time when he was thinking about doing it. And even his partners that work on his show, I think he told them yesterday before the show, if I remember correctly. There was a big station meeting yesterday at noon. I think it was during the crosstalk of one of those shows, right? Was it at noon? Somewhere in there. Y'all may remember, y'all may have been listening. And I wasn't able to attend the meeting. I thought it was going to be some kind of sales meeting, to be quite honest with you. I thought it was something about sales, congratulating programming for something. And anyway, but it apparently was this meeting in which Norm got up in front of everyone and talked. I had a dentist appointment and couldn't go, or didn't go. I finally got this dentist appointment. So I was like, skip a sales meeting? Okay, I'm in for that. Norm stands up there and announces this and got a standing ovation from the room at the end of it, thanking him for his years of service to not only the ticket and Cumulus, but also 570, where he was before he came to the ticket. So Norm's been with this company, this cluster of stations, for quite some time. Well, I missed that. I was also at the hospital yesterday when I get this text from Donnie, and Donnie says, hey man, what'd you think about that news? And I had no idea. And this is like 5 o'clock last night. It was late. The meeting happened many, many hours before, and I was so out of touch. And my heart sinks at first, because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, the ticket has been sold, and we're all about to be laid off, and they're going to flip it back to big band music. I don't know. I had no idea what it was going to be. And I said, no, I haven't heard a thing. And I forget if he texted back or whatever, but I called him immediately and said, what's going on? And he said, hey, Norm told us today that he's going to retire, and he's announcing it tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. And I got to admit, it hit me pretty hard, because Norm is like a fixture in our lives. Norm is, he's the radio legend. He is the parent in the room. Half of the jackassery that we do with fake Norm, it's only funny because Norm is such a legend. And so I play the kid brother to his responsible, accomplished, older, role model figure. I think it hit all of us pretty hard. And the fact that he's gonna have his final day being only a week from now. Like I thought when Norm announced that he would retire, it would be something like at the end of the year. So he would have a 6-month, goodbye, and we could do all the retrospectives and that sort of thing. But no, he's only done at the end of next week. Now, fortunately, he is going to still be involved with the ticket. He's going to do, the way I understand it, he's going to do the draft, the NFL draft, and he's going to do the Normathon, which that's huge. I mean, I don't know if it's as widely known as it should be how much money Norm raises in that Normathon benefiting Austin Street Shelter, but he's raised, I'm pretty sure, over $1 million. I think he even hit close to $1 million one year for that. Does anyone know how much Normathon's raised? Someone's going to guess $1 billion, and then I'm going to have to correct them. I know how this works. We all know the plays that we run. But he's still going to come back and do those things, and I think that's great. And I'm hoping that he still drops in on the shows from time to time. I think that's the plan. But I am a little bit surprised that his exit ramp is so short. But I can't remember whether Norm said this on the air or not. So I'm going to say it because I don't think he would be upset with me saying it. Because Norm is like the least private person. Like everything, like if you don't want something on the air, you can't tell Norm if you don't want something on the air, because he has no concept of, hey, Norm, this is you and I having a private conversation versus on the air. Norm is the same off the air as on the air, so he can't distinguish between the two. So I feel pretty comfortable he'd be fine with me saying this, and he may have even said it in his monologue when he was announcing that he was leaving. He said that, that I basically had a conversation with Mayor Bear, and we were talking that I only have, as all of us do, it's not just because Norm is older, but I only have so much time left on Earth. And are there other things that I want to do? Because now, when you get his age, you have to make choices. When you get my age, I find myself doing that more and more these days of, hey, I'd love to learn to play, I don't know, pick an instrument that I have zero experience in. And I go, you know what? I don't have time for that. I have to pick and choose the things that I'm going to focus my remaining time on. And you have to be judicious with what you choose. And Norm and Mayor talked about it, and he said, yeah, there's other things I want to do, other places I want to see. His mobility is already impaired, as you guys have seen. If you've been to events, you know that Norm, it's more of a struggle for him to get around than it is other people up there. And so he decided that he wants to use his remaining time of mobility. And while he still has the energy to travel, Norm's a travel junkie, and there's places and things that he wants to experience. And he can't do that doing a daily radio show. I mean, being there every day, being tethered to it, only having so much time off doesn't allow him to travel and do the things that he wants to do. So he made the decision. And you know what? He made it at an excellent time. The station is doing pretty well, and it's strong, and his show is performing extremely well. It's not like, he waited till he had rode it into the ground or something and then left. The guy's going out on top. He's going out a legend, and he's going out on top, and he should be very proud of what he's done. And I'm extremely happy and grateful that Norm spent the last 24 years, however long it's been, at the ticket, that the last quarter century of his career was spent with us. As I mentioned to him when the Musers were on after his big announcement, I grew up with the guy. I grew up listening to him. I have extremely fond memories of my dad listening to Norm in the car. And he's always been on the air in Dallas ever since I was aware of radio in Dallas. So to have him gone is going to be strange. And I used to say that my favorite, if I were a person who did characters, let's say, which I'm not, I can't really do voices. But I always used to say my favorite character to do was always another show host that we used to have on the air named Grego, and I used to do a fake Grego. And I love doing fake Grego. His voice was funny. He was all over the map. We just made him into such a great, into just the regular guy was an entertainment machine, and the cartoonish guy couldn't help but be an entertainment machine. But after that, man, fake Norm is one of the most fun characters to do. Because you can do just a screaming laugh, and then you can do just, and then you get real sensitive, and then you slow down. I love a character that has the dynamics of being very loud over the top, and then can get real quiet, and then just go insane. And fake Norm's insane. So, yeah, let me look at what some of you are asking or commenting on. Oh, yeah, fake Grego, Nathan Thurm's Precarious Ash, funny name, says fake Luca is genius. So fake Luca is the repurposing of the fake Grego voice, for those who don't know the fake Grego voice. It's the new fake Luca Texas voice. I don't do him as crazy as I used to do fake Grego, but that's the same voice. Let's see. Are you going to Twitch any of the Time Wasters at Summer Bash? You know, I tried to do that last year, and there were so many people there, and the cell reception the bandwidth was just completely filled. And I guess with everybody being on their phones, and I could not get a decent signal out of there to Twitch. I tried to Twitch, but couldn't do it. Shidoshi Tanaki. Wait a second. Isn't that a ticket fake name? Shidoshi Tanaka? That sounds very familiar. So what book were you reading as Norm announced his retirement on the air? Wasn't reading a book. I actually felt like such a geeky little fangirl of Norm. I had my phone out, and I was experiencing his retirement announcement through the mediation of my cell phone. So I was doing what I complain that other people do. I posted it up on my Twitter. I don't know if y'all saw the video, but if you want to see video of Norm announcing his retirement, I posted a video of it from my cell phone, and then Channel 4 was up there. And they did it more professionally, so you're better off checking out what Channel 4 captured. Can we get a 3-room apartment for fake Norm, fake Charlie Manson, and Sky Mirror? Ooh, the Billy Magic doesn't like those 3. Fake Norm, fake Chuck Manson, and Sky Mirror. Has Norm ever been truly angry about you doing fake Norm? Would truly love to know any story you may share. That comes from Whitson 1977. Has he ever been mad? I'm sure he has. I don't remember offhand him being mad about fake Norm. But I see him being, the only way he would be mad about fake Norm is if he was mad about something else, mad at me about something else. You know, like the gambling discussion that we had when I was going to do the coin flip against his picks of the poll. So, you know, if we did fake Norm like right after that, I could see him being annoyed by fake Norm. But Norm, much like Jerry, extremely thick skin. I mean, Norm has never approached me and said, "Hey, listen, back off that fake Norm." Never said anything like that. You know, that was what was so great about Norm, is he came over to the ticket, and Norm was so straight-laced when he came to the ticket. And I'm sure it was an adjustment for him. But now, I mean, he completely fit in with the ticket sensibilities and rolls with the punches. And then you get things like, was it today, him saying, children jumping from bed to bed producing anal air. Year one, Norm would have never said anything like that. No, M. Stallion, he didn't push me up against the locker. He didn't do that. Jerry Jones, down to this, asked Jerry Jones knows about the fake Jerry. Yes, he does. We've talked about that before. He is fascinated by the fake Jerry. Now, he doesn't call it by its proper name. He calls him fake Jonesy. But yeah, there's that crazy story of when we were at a party in Malibu while Kenny Loggins was playing acoustic. Jerry Jones had me imitate him for Lee Majors. That is true. And I realize that I sound insane right now. Full acknowledgement, I sound crazy, but that is true. Kenny Loggins was playing acoustic guitar out on the patio while I'm standing there doing fake Jerry for Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man. Used to be married to Farrah Fawcett. Real true. Real true. Based.
YouTube.com/@sportsgreek.
Yeah, heard me. Yeah, I've talked about that on the air before. Bragging montage stuff there. Yeah, that is bragging montage stuff. I got to tell you, I was pretty stoked about that because, first of all, we were in Malibu at this beautiful house. Obviously, it was a very wealthy person, and his son, I think, was a P1 and invited us out to this party that his dad was throwing at their beach place in Malibu.
Really appreciate you.
And he said, you guys ought to come by. Kenny Loggins will be playing, and Jerry and Garrett are supposed to be there, and so we all showed up. And I remember when we got there, I think it was while we were there. It wasn't. Maybe it was while we were almost there. We were basically pulling into the place when I got a text that Kid Craddock had passed away. That was freaky. Because Kid was 50. Was Kid 54? He was pretty young. Anyway, we pull into this nice party. We go in, and I remember I held the door open for Jason Garrett because I think he was coming out and leaving the party as I was walking in. So say hi to him and all that, and then go in, and Jerry's in there holding court, and out on the patio. Oh, there was a buffet at first. Before Kenny Loggins started playing, there was like a buffet, and he was walking by us. He had just walked right by me with a plate of like shrimp. It's Kenny Loggins, and he had some really attractive wife that guaranteed was not wife number one. He was either wife or granddaughter. I'm not sure which, but we were told it was his wife. So I'm thinking, man, that's Kenny Loggins. Now this kind of dates me because I don't remember Loggins and Messina. That was a little bit before my time. I just knew him as the guy who sang a duet with Steve Perry, Don't Fight It, and that he also sang like the Footloose theme, right? Didn't he sing that? And he sang the opening song of Caddyshack. I think I have all that right. But yeah, so Kenny Loggins. In the party, Jerry Jones standing in the kitchen area, and he's talking to, and I was with my buddy Ricky, who was my childhood best friend, because he lives out in LA, and I said, hey, come to this party. So Ricky went with us, and Ricky goes, hey, that's, you see who Jerry's talking to? And I didn't immediately recognize him at first because I wasn't even thinking in this way. He goes, that's Lee Majors that Jerry's talking to. And that was really cool to me. Oh, my goodness. I've always said on the air, the people who were famous when you were a kid will always be the ones that freak you out the most when you're an adult. And, man, thought that was so cool that Lee Majors was at this party, this $6 million man the most famous guy on television in the 70s. $6 Million Man was huge. And he was married to the most beautiful woman in the 70s, Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett Majors, when they were married. And somehow or another, I think George started talking to Jerry, or I was walking by, and George said something to Jerry about me being fake Jerry. And Jerry lit up and called me over to Lee Majors. And he said, hey, Lee, I want you to meet the fake me. And Lee kind of looked at me all confused and just stared at me. Because what do you make of that? I'm much younger than Jerry, and I have a beard and long hair, and I'm the fake Jerry. Lee Majors didn't understand any of that. And then it was the uncomfortable thing of, come on, do the voice, do me, talk like me. And I do it, and then they're both like, no, but do the part where you talk like me. And it was really awkward. But Lee Majors was really nice. And then Jerry wandered off somewhere to go talk to the guy who wrote the song Mandy. God, I'm sounding like Clarence. And I'm standing there talking to Lee Majors, trying to make small talk. And that was pretty painful because I'm completely fangirling and saying, hey, remember when you battled Sasquatch? That really scared me. And yeah, it scared me too. Yeah, I was so scared, but you really won that one. Oh yeah, that was a big hit for us, those couple episodes. And then that was it. No, it wasn't Barry Manilow. It was the guy who wrote Mandy. I don't think Barry Manilow actually wrote it, but Barry Manilow had a huge hit with it. If I'm remembering that correctly, we'll have to get George on the phone to tell the story. How did we start talking about that? And then later on, of course, we had Lee Majors on the phone, and he talked about, what do you mean, a baby? Oh, that was that emergency break when I said, hey, you heard about Jerry's new kid? Kind of regret that one. Brad Pitt couldn't get a date until he got famous. I don't know what that means. Not following. Is Fall Guy your greatest work? That's what I should have asked him. Little Lord Fauntleroy mode activated. I know, sorry. I don't know what's happening here. I need some product. I can't wait to tell my wife I spent the evening listening to a story about Gordo, Lee Majors, and Sasquatch. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you wasting your evening with me. This is great. I love it. Okay. What product do I use in my hair? You know, I say I use... Oh, I know. There's some kind of paste. Styling paste. I really only use it when I do this or have to, appear somewhere. Even then, I don't really use it then. Just to keep the hair out of my eyes. Sometimes while it's wet, I just spray it with hairspray. I don't like using anything in my hair. Let's see. What was the genesis of the Andy Panda sidekick? From Ryan. Ryan from Texas asked that. Norm used to... he may still have a stuffed panda that rides in his car. In the back seat, there's a huge, human-sized panda bear. It's a plushy stuffed animal. And he rode around with that in the back of his car, and I have no idea why. He's told the story before, but I tuned it out. Cue Vivaldi. For what? What did I say that was Vivaldi queuing worthy? You should have asked Lee Majors if he was on the boat when Natalie Wood died. Was he? He wasn't. No. That was Christopher Walken. Yeah, that was this. He originally said that so he could ride in the HOV lane. But then there was another story beyond that why he had that Andy Panda. It was about somebody gave it to him and he swore that he would ride with it in his car for a year. And the guy said, no, you wouldn't. I don't know. Did I see Jimmy Carter killed himself? Okay, wait a second. You better be lying to me. Did Jimmy Carter travel to Sweden to do that. See, you're totally getting me on this because here I am checking. Looking at this, no. I'm seeing that Ray Lewis III, the son of Ray Lewis, mysteriously dies at age 28. But nothing on Jimmy Carter. Okay. So you got me. You fooled me. I was ball sacked, as they say. Yeah, okay, you got me. R.I.P. James Woods. I'm not falling for it. Oh, that's a good one. I'll get George on that one tomorrow. Okay, so what should we do here? I wonder if we should try to call Norm. I would love to, like, FaceTime with Norm. But Norm does not have a smartphone. Man, I've got way too many texts here. I'm on a couple text threads that are very busy. Okay. We'll try to call Norm and see what he has to say. I'm telling you, he won't even answer it. Okay, let me make sure that that this is on and ready to go. Y'all hear that? He's not going to answer it. Now, I may have my caller ID turned off. Or I may have it turned on and he can see who it is.
Hi, this is Norm Hitzkes. Thank you very much for the call. I'm sorry I missed you. Please leave your name and phone number and repeat the phone number twice if you would, please. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Norm, it's Gordo. I was just calling to tell you that I thought you did a great job today, and I was going to talk to you for a moment on the old Twitch stream, because there are lots of people who showed up to the Twitch stream. 770 people showed up because they love you, and they were listening to the Norm post-game Twitch stream. Anyway, Norm, I love you, and you did great today, and I'll see you at work tomorrow. Don't forget Summer Bash. Tell Mare Bear I love her too. Bye. There we go. Okay. How many of us put our last name on our outgoing voicemail? Hi, this is Norm Hitchkes. This is Norman Elizabeth Hitchkes. Please leave your phone number, and if you would, repeat the same phone number that you just gave after you've given it the first time. The repeat should come after the first one, not before it. I'm sorry, and that's it. Where does Elizabeth come from? That's Norm's actual middle name. So, yeah, no, we haven't. I guess I could try to call Norm back here in a little bit, or we could call some of our other co-hosts for reaction. But we're about to hit oh no, we're not about to hit an hour. I started late. Super Suze. What? Mine says hang up and text me. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do now. Don't be an old. Text me. Don't leave a message. People never listen to their messages now anyway. They always call you back and say, yeah, what do you want? Oh, I left it on the message. Yeah, I didn't listen to it. What do you want? What is your height, weight? I'm having a hell of a time finding T-shirts to fit my liking. Seems like the manufacturer is making them smaller. My experience is the opposite. It seems like T-shirt manufacturers are making them bigger. Do I have that wrong? Like a small today is what a large used to be. It's kind of like the big gulping of T-shirts. They just keep moving it. Call Kristen Bell. Gosh, I haven't talked to them in a while. I'm like the worst at keeping like Corby meets people, is particularly if Corby meets famous people. He's so good about keeping up relationships. Me, like, I don't know. They don't want to hear from me. Big gulpification, yeah. Art Bell. R.I.P. Dax. Oh, no. I got to now look up, see what it says. Something happened to him. My dad wants to know, what are the worst leftovers Norm has ever eaten in the studio? The grossest one was that burrito that we let sit in the studio for a week. It was a beef burrito, and it sat in the foil wrapping, but at room temperature for a full week. And we dared Norm to eat it, and we said, you won't eat that thing, after it's been sitting out. And this point, it had been sitting out for 2 days. He was like, oh, yeah, I'll eat it after a week. We said, okay. And so we waited, and then he ate it after a week and had no issues as far as of course, it was self-reporting. He said, it's fine. I didn't experience anything. And I believe him, because Norm, as we've said many times, has a goat stomach. Nothing affects that guy, and he's always grazing. Like, we could be, at an airport, when we're traveling somewhere for the Super Bowl, let's say. Be at the airport waiting for the rent car shuttle to take us to the rent car lot, and Norm will just be over there eating some eucalyptus off a tree or something. It's amazing. That guy can just eat anything, anywhere, anytime. He's a Polish sewer rat. That's exactly right. Stop it. You guys are going to get me on one of these, and I'm going to not believe you. We got R.I.P. Lawrence Fishburne. We've got R.I.P. Elton John. R.I.P. Nick Cage. Stop it. You're using my powers against me. I'm the guy who does the fake deaths just to get a shock out of people. It's such a stupid trick. I started that real early on in the ticket and see how many people I got. I remember I really got people on John Larroquette one time. Fun. R.I.P. Dick Van Dyke. I'm not gonna Google that. I'm not. Call Marina Oswald. If I'm ever going to do an interview with Marina Oswald, I better get on it. Getting a little old. I'd love to talk to her, though. But I hear she doesn't like talking to people very much. Okay. Is there somebody else that we should call? Or FaceTime. We could also FaceTime. Did y'all see any bald spot back there? Of course, these lights make me look like I'm going bald. Maybe I am going bald. Maybe the station didn't talk about it at all. Would you try to focus? Okay. Dan. Okay, you want to try call Dan? And see if he has a reaction to Norm's retirement. Here we go. I need some longer music. Sorry, I was reading. Dan McDowell. There's the audio. Let's see if I can get the... Why is it not coming up on the screen? Oh, there he is. FaceTime unavailable. Huh. Okay. Hold on, let me switch back. Jill? You know, that'd be good because Jill worked with Norm for a while. Interesting. All right. Pop on Jill. No, let me see. Okay, let me text her first to see if she's up for it. The ladies want to get their face on, you know, before they do FaceTime. It's like how Sam Gannon, you know, was reluctant at first when Doocy pops her on, you know, when she's not ready. Let me ask, wanna... Okay. All right. Message has been sent to Jillian. We'll see how that goes. If she gets back to me or not. Kind of as last minute as you can possibly get. Big, strong Jillian has not responded so far. Who do I think will or should replace Norm on the show? The $1 million question. I'm sure you all have lots of opinions as to who should do it. And no matter who gets that job, everyone will have fist in the air about the injustice that has just happened to someone or another. That's the way it is. There's one job and so many worthy candidates, and everyone has an idea of how they want the world to be for them. You know, I want this person in that job so I can listen to them because I like them a lot. But it's going to hopefully please some people and displease, I'm sure, a lot of people too. But I have no idea who's going to get it. Like I said, this is a really early, a really late development, I guess you'd say. It just went from early to late. Okay, have not heard back from Jillian. So, I think I'll try this individual here. And of course, Dan didn't answer, as I would have bet $1 million that he wouldn't. Here we go. Do this. Do this. Do this. Hey, look at there.
Hi, Gordon.
It's Handsome TV Guy. Can you hear
me?
You
must be twitching tonight, huh?
How did you know?
Because I just saw that you were calling to FaceTime, and that's usually what that means. Should I turn it sideways?
No. I got it set up for you to go vertical.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you like it vertical.
Yeah, because you haven't done horizontal in a long time, have you, Mike?
Either way is fine.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm calling you for professional reaction to the retirement of Norm Hitchcock, because I know you guys are about the same age, and I didn't know if Norm's retirement hit you particularly hard.
Well, I'm just asking this for a friend. If a person wanted to apply for that vacancy at the ticket, where they would need to send their tape and resume, I don't ask for any particular reason.
Yeah. We set up an email box. It's called notmikeducey@gmail. Just send everything there and just wait. Be patient, because the people in charge get really annoyed if you send follow-up emails like, "Hey, did you get my package I sent?" So,
well, I can't say I'm terribly
surprised. I heard earlier in the day that there was a big announcement, as everybody did, and I wondered if that might be it. I mean, the man is 78 years of age, so it makes sense that he would retire, but it's really going to be odd to have him not on the ticket on a daily basis. I talked to him a little bit this afternoon. We're hoping to get him on our show Sunday night, but he's been great to me from back in '94 when I first got here. I remember filling in for him on Cliff one morning, and I was even worse at talk radio then than I am now, if you can believe that. So it was horrible. And he was so kind. And I know I've told you this story many times, Gordon, because I tell every story over and over again. And Sam's rolling her eyes on the other side of the office because
that's part of the mental deterioration.
By saying, I know I've said this before, but Norm called me Tim for about the first year and a half that I knew him, because I had a cousin who was a jockey, a pretty well-known jockey who raced in Oklahoma City and Hot Springs. His name's Tim Doocy. So for obvious reasons, Norm knew who Tim Doocy was. So that's my funny little Norm story from when I first got here. But
how the hell do you have so many famous relatives?
Yeah, and yet how am I so infamous or not famous? That's a good question. But we'll all miss Norm, won't we? You were able to fake it on the air today and make it sound like you gave a damn. So I thought that was pretty good.
I consider that a shot at my sincerity, Mike. How is Sam taking this? I bet you her first reaction was, "Who's Norm?"
No, she likes Norm a lot. Norm's been on our show many times since Sam's arrival. Norm has a sweet soul, as Sam would say. I'm trying to figure out how my camera works here. We'll say hi to Sam. Landry doesn't want to be on TV, so we won't put him on TV. Where's Sam?
Hello.
There she is.
Hey, Sam, how are you?
Fine, Gordo. I feel like Mike's really close.
You're putting your face on.
Let's not accentuate how big my head is, okay?
Oh, gosh, that was shocking. We were just all looking at Sam and enjoying that, and then you switched over to yourself, Mike, and that got rough pretty fast.
Well, let's just focus back where we need to here in this office. What do you say?
It looked a little before and after. Little like the ravages of meth.
I hope for her sake this isn't the after. That would really be unfortunate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if it was the other way, that would be your dream come true, right? To go from looking like you to looking like Sam.
After Sam, in 25 years, this is what you get to look forward to.
Okay.
It's not part of my world, but sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, whose voice was that?
Nobody.
I can't tell whether you're doing Dale or Stephen Hawking here. What are you trying to do, Mike?
Oh man.
All right, we have a little fun. We have some viewers who have questions for you.
Oh
no. Let's see if any of them are airable. Dr. Coolhand was wondering if you were having a stroke. No, that was just you doing comedy. For those who don't know, Mike loves doing stroke humor.
What's the next question?
R.I.P. Carrot Top. People expressing some grief and remorse that Carrot Top has passed. Were you a big fan of Carrot Top?
I knew who he was, and I admire anyone who can make a living in that business. Gordon, back to you.
Yeah, so that concludes your eulogy of Carrot Top. I'm sure that was very comforting to his family just then.
It's kind of like reaction to Norm on Twitter today. People just can't help themselves. One guy began his tribute by saying, "I know Norm wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but man, I'm like, why do you have to start with that on this day?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Can't you just say good luck, what a run? I know a lot of people couldn't stand him, but hey, at least people can't help themselves.
Does that conclude your rant there?
It is. Back to you.
Okay. Let's see what else other people are saying. Yeah, people talking about the whole Nick Cage crash. You've been following that story?
Oh. Like a literal crash?
Yes.
What happened?
Nicolas Cage passing away after a particularly horrendous 3-car accident. I guess he lost control of something or another and took out 2 other cars. But did you like his work?
Of course.
What are you typing on there, Mike?
My desktop. Are we still on the air?
We are. We are, unfortunately. Let's see what else people are asking about. Some people want to know when the last time you went to the bathroom is.
About 30 seconds ago.
You were talking to us 30 seconds ago.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. Can you confirm the rumors that great-grandpa Doocy sold his soul to the devil to guarantee fame for generations of Doocy's to come?
I never knew great-grandpa Doocy, Gordon. He was gone before I came along, but thanks. Way to go, Gordon. Way to go.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry.
He fought his way over here from Ireland to make a better life for his family.
Oh.
But you go ahead and mock the idea of him all you want. That's fine. That's good.
Hey, Mike, can you hold on a second? Jillian is FaceTiming me right now, so I got to accept it.
Okay.
All right, I'll call you back. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Jillian Moran joins us now for the first time on the Twitch stream. All right, there she is. Okay, so we are now live on Twitch. You know that, right? I want to make sure that we have your enthusiastic consent. And there's Jillian with all her goofy, nerdy Star Wars stuff in the background. So I can see you're still just the nerd you've always been. Okay, so can everyone hear Jillian? It says we cannot hear her. All right, hold on, Jillian. I need to make sure this is right. Hold on. Okay, Jillian, let me call you right back, and I'm going to reestablish contact, okay? Okay, all right. We're going to call her back. Let's see here. Make sure I'm connected up properly.
YouTube.com/@sports.
See, Mike Doocy screwed it all up for everybody. Okay, that is fine. This is fine. That, this, that. Go to recents. There is Jillian. Okay, is that coming through? It's still not coming through. Oh, I know what I need to do.
Hello?
Okay. They can hear you now, Jillian. Okay, hold on.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on. Let me switch over and put you up on the screen. There she is. Boy, have not seen you in forever.
Nope, it's been, about 10 months, yeah.
Well, I was waiting for Norm to retire before I called you.
Understandable.
To find out what was going on.
We all were, and then just got tired of it after a while, just left.
So after you left the ticket, do you prefer Jill or Jillian? I've always said Jillian, but...
Either one works. Jill's fine.
All right. So
Jill or Jillian. Yeah.
After you left the ticket, did you just stop listening to the Musers and Norm because you had heard enough of it?
Well, I don't know what else there is to hear at this point. I've heard pretty much everything.
Understandable.
So, I mean, I've tuned in a few times, but not often, no.
Okay. Did you hear?
Mainly because I'm usually asleep through a good portion of your show.
So when do you wake up these days?
About 8 o'clock or so, 7 or 8, depending on how busy my wife is getting ready for her day.
Uh-huh. So you do have time, Jill, to listen to the Musers, but you're choosing not to.
Yes. I'm doing other important things. I do a Bible study. I work out in the mornings. And so, it takes up a lot of my time.
Understandable. So what about...
Oh,
what about... I forgot that I have sound effects. I'm used to you doing the sound effects, so I'm not really well-versed at hosting and doing sound effects at the same time.
That's okay. You're doing fine.
Jill, did you hear that Norm retired?
Yes.
And
I did hear that. I did listen to that.
And we'd like to know the dirt. Did Norm mistreat you?
He gets a cane right up under the chin, too.
Yeah. He's a very threatening man.
Just make his point. Yeah.
So we wanted to ask you, what is your greatest Norm memory or among your most memorable Norm moments?
Oh, gosh, there's so many. I slept since then for a lot of them. One of my favorites was early on. It was me and Frito. Frito was producing at the time. I think he could tell that neither of us were really paying attention to what he said. So he just dropped a big old BS bomb right there in the middle of the segment. Both of us, down hog our heads up and mash the dump button real quick. And then during the break, he says, okay, I was just making sure you were listening.
Wait, CS in the most...
No, the BS. He said bullshit.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you said CS. Yeah. I was like, that would be very unlike
no,
Norm.
He said that off air.
Yeah. Was there ever a drop that Norm told you could never play on the air?
I really appreciate
totally no. It was pretty well understood that we didn't play the stuff like the big black, etc. Those
yes,
we didn't play after a while. But I can't think of any that he ever told us that we couldn't play.
Wasn't there one time where Norm said, and you are never to play this on the air? And he said the word that was...
He did tell me a few times not to mark stuff. But,
the most offensive of all words was one time said in an interview he was doing with someone, and he didn't want you to make a drop out of it.
Don't make a drop out of that, pal. Cat that was trying to get in.
How many cats do you have now?
We have two. We had one that passed earlier this year, but we still have two little pains in the ass. But we love them.
What about the service dog? That passed away, right? Your beloved.
Yeah, he got sick and passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah.
And have you replaced the service dog?
No. Since my wife works from home most of the time, she doesn't really feel the need for it. I'm pretty much her service animal at this point, and that's fine.
I really appreciate it.
She's just, we just sort of like, if we lived in a bigger city, where we, we're out walking, on a regular basis, maybe we'd think about it, but we're in the heart of suburbia here in Fort Worth, so there's not really much need for it.
You wouldn't believe how excited people are that you're on here. They've been
oh God,
they've been missing their Jill, I guess.
I don't know.
So you haven't.
I don't know why.
You've not even tuned in to see how your replacement Tyler has been doing.
Like I said, I've tuned in a few times. I hear about a funny bit on Twitter or whatever. And I've heard Tyler. I think he's done what I've heard has been fine. I heard Chris yesterday, and I thought he did fine with that. So I just, he's letting him do his thing.
I was giggling at the thing that you tweeted out yesterday, I think it was, or a couple days ago, when you said it was one of your proudest moments. It was the
oh my God, yes,
the French speakers kicking the squirrel,
guys kicking the squirrel
into the Grand Canyon.
That was so many years ago, but God, I still giggle every time I hear it. Especially, it's not so much the playlet as it is George near death.
I know, gasping for air.
And you're not far behind him either.
I know it. Well, it cracked me up. It was fun. You were the master at the instant playlet. You could compose an audio playlet faster than anyone I've ever seen, and I still think that your records are untouched.
Yeah, I tried to, earn my keep every now and then. Yeah.
Have you thought about exiting retirement ever and moving back into radio broadcasting in some way?
It's not off the table completely, but I just don't really feel the need to that much. I miss you guys. Well, most of you. I mean, obviously not DJ, But, most of you guys I miss. And it's just, the grind of it and, the whole corporate radio thing. It just, right now still doesn't appeal to me. I've played around every now and then with the idea of, actually doing a podcast. But, I just haven't yet. Maybe someday. I don't know.
The car cast, you're going to resurrect when you do go back into podcasting, is it going to be a car cast?
No, I'll do it in with an actual microphone, and so I'll make it sound good because I don't drive much anymore. It's amazing just how few miles I'm putting on the car these days. But now I'm not driving to Dallas every day.
But are you happy? Or are you getting bored in retirement? Like if I was off work for too long, even though I dream of it, I think my mind would start eating itself. And I would get sink into depression again. So, how are you doing?
Honestly, I'm doing well. I'm happy. I haven't felt the draw. I do every now and then have dreams that I'm back at the station for some reason and trapped in the room with Fernando. I don't understand how that happens, but those happen. But as far as working, I keep myself busy enough here. I do housewifey stuff. I clean. Like I said, it is serious. I actually have started working out with the Peloton app, so I'm trying to finally, get rid of the goo that is my belly. But yeah, I'm finding things to keep myself busy, and I've learned a lot more about cooking since I retired because I have more time to do that. We're both not tired. I at least have time, during the day to experiment with stuff, look up recipes, stuff like that. I've done a little bit of freelancing as far as like audio, like podcast mixing for a friend of mine. That keeps me kind of busy too. But it's I'm pretty happy right now. I'm not hurting for something to do. I always can find something to do.
Well, we miss you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, Tyler's great.
You guys too.
Tyler's great. This is not against Tyler. It's just you were such a important part of our daily experience every single day, and you and I go way back to even the weekends. We're doing a rant revival. I don't know if you've heard this. Every Thursday I go up there.
I've heard about it. Yes.
Yeah, and spend time with Davey and Corby, and it reminds us of the old rant days, which of course you were a part of that.
Right. And we can't play most of that audio anymore.
Yes,
that's okay.
Let's try to keep me employed a little bit longer, even though you don't need to be employed. I do.
You need to find yourself a nice girl or guy who's a doctor, and then you can retire.
I know.
It's that easy.
There you go. Well, Jill, thank you so much for popping on with us and sharing your Norm memories of him.
Yes.
Shooting dirty looks at you, letting you know not to play a drop.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Give love to the wife. Tell Janice we said hello.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
There.
All right.
There she is. It's Jill.
Bye, everybody.
Saying goodbye to everybody. There's Jillian Moran, a classic. One of the finest board ops, if not the finest board op to ever work at the Ticket. It's hard to narrow it down, though, because the Ticket has been blessed with so many fantastic board operators. And it was good to see her again, too. I haven't actually seen her, and I see her every once in a while on, if she tweets out a picture or something like that. But I haven't seen her in person since then, and haven't seen her moving in motion like we did on FaceTime just then. Oh, I told Doocy I would call him back. Should I? Should I call him back? And see if I can get him on Steve Perry. That's a good one, Mexican Jr. Okay, let me call Doocy and... Hey, Mike.
Hello.
It's Gordon.
Oh, hi, Gordon.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had another call come in. Someone outranked you there. An unemployed board operator outranked you, Mike.
All right. I'm sure they were more entertaining than I could ever be, Gordon.
It was Jillian, our former board operator for many, many years. And I had texted her asking her if she wanted to come on, and she FaceTimed me back right in the middle of when we were talking to you.
And that's a great story.
You want me to tell it
again? Tell that at parties?
No, I don't tell it at parties. Anyway, we're about to have to go because we've been doing this for, gosh, I've been on over an hour. I always intend to go an hour, but we've had 700 people tune into this stream, so it's very successful.
How do you make money? Go ahead and explain how you make money on this.
I think I lose money on this, but we do raise a lot of money for At Last. Well, I say a lot of money. I wouldn't say it's a lot, but it's as much as we're raising. So,
good.
But we're building, you know?
That's great.
We're growing. That's what we do.
I don't know how you do all the things you do, man. I don't know how you do all the things you do. It's really incredible.
What do? I do a radio show, and then I do this. I bug you on Thursday nights.
But we are always talking about on the radio how you're at auctions buying used typewriters and all this stuff.
I know.
I mean, that's what would just drain my life force to high holy hell if I did it. But
I know.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah. So before we sign off of this stream, I wanted to call you back because I told you I would, and it's important to at least try to keep my word when I can remember my word. You know, I have the ADHD, and oftentimes I forget when I've told somebody I'll do something, and if someone doesn't remind me, I can't ever remember. But I remembered to call you back.
You have no idea how much that means to me.
I can tell.
Thank you.
And great. I also, since you are such a music aficionado, I wanted to briefly get your reaction to the Steve Perry news.
You're making up things that are happening to people, aren't you? Is that what this shtick is? I think that's what he's doing. Now he's saying there's Steve Perry news. What happened?
Oh, just that he's in hospice.
And we're talking about the Journey, yes. Steve.
Yes.
When the lights city and the sun shines on the bay. Oh, I want to be there in my city.
Right.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, we get
that
it.
One.
It's that whole song. That whole song.
Can you sing in his register, by the way?
No. I mean, falsetto, but, not.
I envy those guys that can do that. I really do.
You could probably sing that high. You have a beautiful tenor voice.
I don't. It's not a tenor voice.
Oh, is it not?
It's barely a baritone voice. It's very limited range, and you know it, and I don't like you pointing it out.
Well, you were singing a little Taylor Swift. She's got a high voice.
I would be complex. I would be cool. I never played the game, but that would be okay for me to do. Every conquest I made did make me more of a boss to you. I'd be a fearless leader. I'd be an alpha type. If everyone believes you, what's that like? I am so sick of running as fast as I can. Bang, 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 bang. Wondering if I'd get there quicker if I was a man. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Gordon. Take care. Bye.
There you go. Mike Doocy. Mike Doocy hanging up on us. Hey, thank you guys for being here. We had fun. Talked a little bit about Norm. Tried to call him on the phone. Didn't get him. But we tried. And I thank you guys for being here because I forgot to promote this on the air today. Didn't mention it on the morning show, and I don't think I mentioned it on the hard line. And I specifically went into the hard line thinking, okay, don't forget to mention the Twitch stream. And of course I forgot because it really sucks being me. You don't remember anything that you're supposed to do. And it's frustrating. And people get mad at you. And I'm sorry. Anyway. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. We couldn't do the game show tonight that Huey has worked so hard on because it would have been impossible to get the guys over here tonight when we have Summer Bash tomorrow. And we got the Time Wasters tomorrow night. So we're going to have to do the game show at a different time, hopefully next week. We've got to make sure we got everybody for that. But anyway, love you guys. Thank you. I love you. I'm proud of you. And as always, we'll see what awkward still shot this stream ends on. I'll just kind of look at the camera and we'll see where it ends.